بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Second chapter of book 4, Hadith number 214. Last night's class was on what? Follow. Right, Riyadh.
About calling the we just have the law called it, but it wasn't structured.
What hadith did we discuss?
213.
Hadith number 213. Khair, narrated by who? Ibn Umar. And what does that hadith tell us? The gist of it is what? What does that hadith tell us in brief?
Oh, that the companions were disputing how to make the Adhan, and so Bilal was ordered by the Prophet to give the Adhan, but it wasn't said how to do it.
Right. We said a word, a specific word, which was what? Announcement. I'lan. The general what? I'lan. We talked about last night the evolution and the historical development of the Adhan. The stages that were taken in it becoming what it is today. That's what we began to speak on. There's much more that remains. Naam? Tayyib? Hey, inshallah. What else did we talk about last night? The benefits of the hadith, such as, give me 3, solid. All the brothers and sisters that are watching right now, while I'm asking someone that's here in the physical presence, you say the fawaid, like you're sitting in a class. Naam, and not just to sit in front of the screen like a lecture, but actually like you're what? In the class. To maximize your own benefit. To maximize your own benefit. Naam, as the question was posed, can I be your student even though I only watch your videos and I never met you in person? We said if you have the right mindset, of course. You may be hungrier in another country, looking at your phone or your tablet than someone what? In New York City. And that's a dead fact. Unfortunately. It's a reality. Tayyib. Khairan inshallah. And only Allah knows what will happen in the future. Allah may decree for me to travel to a country or a city or a town that I've never been to, and I might meet you. And if you have the history, you have the mentality, you have the love, the passion, it's nothing but what? Simple. Assalamu alaikum, I'm such and such, nice to meet you. Let's get started on whatever. These are the books that I transcribed. These are the questions I transcribed. These are the summaries I made. This is kada, this is this is that. Only Allah knows. These are based off of what? Intentions. The blood does not reach Allah. The flesh does not reach Allah. But it's only taqwa. Allah tells us in the Quran. That's the thing that reaches Allah Azza wa Jalla on Eid al-Adha. Not the animal, but the actual piety, the heart. Everybody understand this? Khairan inshallah. Fadal. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
What are the benefits in al-amra bil-wujub?
إن الأصل في الأمر الوجوب. In the kitab, in the sunnah, whenever there's a fi'l amr, then that act is initially what? Wajib. Until proven otherwise. Now how do you understand this and benefit from this if you don't know what the fi'l amr is? So this shows the importance of a book like Ajurumiyah. What's fi'l amr? If'al, tafa'al, fa'il. How do you get the fi'l amr? And if you don't know Arabic, even though you have to learn other things as well, but at least Arabic and grammar and sarf, then you're totally dependent on a translator. 101%. The translator could be trustworthy. The translator could be untrustworthy. The translator could be accurate, sharp, veracious. The translator could be sloppy. Everybody understand this? The translator could have an empty cup in his translation. A objective translation. Pure, clean, and professional. And that translator may have an agenda. may have preconceptions, misconceptions, pre-assumptions in his cup of translation. And he may translate something to suit his what? His agenda, his taste, his view, his method, his aqidah, his culture. This is a reality. This is a what? This is reality. Doesn't mean that there's no good in English. It doesn't mean there are no good English books. Does not mean that there aren't accurate translations. There are many, whether that hummed. But we're talking for those who want more. You're always dependent upon someone. And that person could be good, and that person could be what? Not so good. Everybody understand this? What? Not so good. Khairan inshallah. Right, that's the first fa'idah. Fa'idah number 2.
Mandatory to make shura?
The issue of shura. Is it wajib? Is it recommended? Al-Muhim is definitely from the deen. It's from the what? From the deen. Bila shak. Based off of the clear, authentic sunnah. You don't have to read a fatwa or this one, that one is clear from the hadith organically taken. That is what? A shura is from the what? From the deen. Alright, fadl.
The major virtue of Umar ibn Khattab.
As a dalil for the virtue of Umar radiallahu anhu, a major virtue. How smart he was, how intelligent he was, how guided he was. Khayr inshallah, jazakallah khayran. Right, let's get started with hadith number 214. The author rahimahullah ta'ala says, باب الأمر بشفع الأذان وإيتار الإقامة. حديث أنس رضي الله عنه قال ذكروا النار والناقوس فذكروا اليهود والنصارى فأمر بلال أن يشفع الأذان وأن يوتر الإقامة. Chapter 2 says, order to pronounce adhan by saying its wordings twice in doubles, and to pronounce iqamah by saying its wording in singles, once only. And it'll be a very good idea, only Allah knows, if we had the ability to have this in a PDF. If a brother or 10 brothers or 20 sisters, the disciples would get together collectively, do it themselves, pay someone to make this into a what? PDF. You can have it on your tablet or your phone, wherever you're going, if you don't have the ability to have the actual book. Khairan inshallah. It says here, narrated Anas radiallahu anhu, the people mentioned the fire and the bell. They suggested those as signals to indicate the starting of salah, prayer. And by that they mentioned the Jews and the Christians. Then Bilal was ordered to pronounce adhan for the salah by saying its wordings twice, in doubles. And for the iqamah, the call for the actual standing for the salah in rows, by saying its words once, in singles. Iqamah pronounced when the people are ready for salah. Look how choppy and robotic that translation is. All of those different brackets and parentheses. It's bulky. Very bulky. Very cumbersome translation. Nothing about the translation is what? Fluid. Nothing. Everybody understand this? Nothing about the translation is what? Evident. Khayr inshallah. So therefore the hadith tells us, it says hadith wa Anas, يعني وعن Anas, narrated Anas radiallahu anhu. He says ذكروا, they mention who? يعني Sahaba. The hadith of Anas is very similar to the hadith of Ibn Umar. Everybody understand this? Is it the same happening, or is it similar, or even deeper than that? Is it a bridge between the hadith of Ibn Umar and the hadith of Abdullah ibn Zayd? Hadith of Ibn Umar says that when they came to Medina, he says, يَتَحَيَّنُونَ, they would look for the time for the prayer. Now, and they didn't have no one to unite them and gather them in order for them to congregate. And they made suggestions, the drum, the horn, etc. Everybody understand this? And Umar radiallahu anhu disagreed with all of those suggestions, and he said, why don't you send a man to make an actual call? Naam? Khayr inshallah. We explained that last night in detail. And that was the mujarradul i'lan. The sheer what? Announcement. The sheer what? Announcement. And the word nida, yunadi bis salah is mentioned. Nida, literally meaning a call. But in this hadith of Anas, what is mentioned? The word what? Adhan and Iqamah. That's a bit more sophisticated. That's a bit more what? Sophisticated. So that shows us that this is a bit, whether it's chronologically after or not, but it shows that it's higher, more sophisticated than the hadith of Ibn Umar. Everybody understand this? But it still shows us that it's still not to the full extent of the hadith of Abdullah ibn Zayd. Why not? That's not the key. That's not the sir. That's not the secret to it. I need somebody really smart. That's not the secret to it. That's not it. It's a secret to it. That's right in front of you, beneath your nose.
Because it was confirmed on
No. Hold on. Keep trying. Because it clearly mentions what? Fire, Jews, Christians. So the final stage of the Adhan was not agreed upon yet. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. It says here, narrated Anas, the people mentioned the fire and the bell. The Sahaba mentioned these as ways of doing what? Calling, making an announcement to prayer. So it can't be as far in advance as the hadith of Abdullah ibn Zayd. Abdullah ibn Zayd was the final step and stage with regards to no bell, no drum, no fire. You with me or not, Khalid? There was khalas. He saw the dream. He told the Prophet of the dream. Omar saw the dream. He told the Prophet of the dream, and he said, tell Bilal to make the what? Khalas. There's no suggestion of a drum or clap or no signals no more. Have I clear this or not? There's no what? Khalas? Everybody understand this or not? Everybody understand this? That's the hadith of Abdullah ibn Zayd. Look at Sunan Abi Dawud. Kitab al-Adhan. Kitab al-Salah. Look for it, huh? So, the hadith of Abdullah ibn Zayd that we didn't read but we mentioned, and know we was talking about last night, is the final stage and step of the what? Meaning what? What stage of the Adhan? It's wordings, the specifics of the Adhan, or the concept of what? The voice. There is no more suggestion of a what? There's none of that. That's done. That's finished. Khalas. Intaha. The hadith of Ibn Umar, the hadith of Ibn Anas, or hadith of Anas bin Malik state what? It still was talking about still was a suggestion. It still was a means of shura. What do we do to make the actual announcement, the call for the prayer? Everybody understand this? Everybody got this or not? Alright, now, pay close attention now. The hadith of Ibn Umar Abu Bakr, it says here, أَلَا تَبْعَثُونَ رَجُلًا يُنَادِي بِالصَّلَاةِ. He says, why don't you tell a man to make a call to the prayer? Then it says, فَقَالَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم, يَا بِلَالِ. The Messenger of Allah صلى الله عليه وسلم then said, O Bilal, قُم, stand up, فَنَادِي بِالصَّلَاةِ. Stand up and make a what? Call to the prayer. It does not specify the what? At all. Did he teach him at that time or not? But it does not what? Period. The hadith of Anas then says what? That they were still doing what? Mentioning things. So from that aspect, the hadith of Anas is still like the hadith of hadith of Abdullah ibn Zayd. There was no more what? Shura. It was agreed upon that it was going to be a what? Ascent. Khalas, that's done. That's here. This is the hadith of Abdullah ibn Zayd. That's here, over here. Now on this side we have two hadiths. The first is the narration of Ibn Umar. And the second is the narration of what? Anas. Hadith Ibn Umar and Hadith Anas both share one main theme, and that's what? هذا هو. That they're still trying to figure out what to do. A bell, a fire, a drum, a horn, etc. Khair, inshallah. We got this? Stay with me, Abu Bakr. Focus. Don't look at your book. Don't write any notes, Riyadh. You can't write notes and pay close attention. Now, the thing, this hadith of Anas, that's different than hadith Ibn Umar is what? And yashfa'a wa an yutira. These are now specifics of the actual kayfiyah, of the actual how and the manner of the adhan and the iqamah. When it comes to the adhan, do shafa, double, twice, even. Come to the iqamah, do what? Witr, single. Everybody understand this? Everybody got this? So from this aspect, from this perspective, the hadith of Anas is closer to what? It's close to the hadith of who? Abdullah ibn Zayd, which is a specific system of the adhan, how to do it, what to say. But at the same time, because it mentions the fire and the other things that's used in the Christians, it's still what? The Hadith of Ibn Umar. Got it now? Everybody understand this now? So I said as if, Wallahu alam, the Hadith of Anas is what? Wedged in the middle. It's what? We ain't got it yet. You got it yet, Abu Bakr? You sure? Salih? You got it? Talib, make sense? Okay, tight. Listen very carefully. What does the Hadith of Ibn Umar tell us? You find out Hadith here, Khalid? Tight. Bring the Hadith up here or get the mic. Take the mic. That's even better. Abu Bakr should have the mic already. So, Allah Mustaan. La. Or Lutfi's going to read it. Make Lutfi read it. Abu Bakr's going to read Arabic. He's going to read Shaf Nawawi. Or maybe Fatul Bari. Guys, once again, Abu Sa'id, you can remind the brothers, as we always try to do in the class, we don't want to just what? Run through stuff, as most people do. And they just run through it. But no. We want to actually have the actual what? The fiqh. Even if it's not deep, but the actual proper, basic, minimum standard of the what? What we're reading and memorizing and studying. Everybody understand this? Everybody clear on this style or not? Oftentimes, if you notice, in different classes, or let's say a khutbah, that's even a better example in my opinion. You notice in the khutbah, I'm talking about my khutbahs, I'm not responsible for anybody else. Oftentimes I do what? What do we do in the khutbahs oftentimes? Not repeat. Full sentence, that's the observation, but that's not what I want here. Analogies. Now I'm talking about hadith now. We start with a hadith. We mentioned it's now, but in most cases, the khutbah is focused upon what? One hadith. For what purpose? Because there's no other hadiths to mention. There's no hadiths that I can say, but we want to do what? Slice it, chop it, break it down, real life analogies. Then we're clear. It's better to walk away with one hadith properly understood, the ins and the outs, instead of me just standing on the khutbah, waqala, wa'an, 50 hadiths like many people do in the khutbahs, which is fine. That's good, that's needed sometimes. Sometimes you have to do that. But most people, they say, the hadith, the khutbah was on wiping off the socks, that's it. The hadith of Mughira ibn Shu'bah, which teaches us, kada. Everybody understand this? Sometimes that's better than you just having a load of information without no proper what? Let alone application. Everybody clear on this? Make sense or not? So this is what we need to do here. You can't just read the hadith, go to the next chapter. It's no good. Everybody understands that's one of our problems that we have now, today. We just read and have information without the proper understanding of the information. Everybody clear on this? Alright, so how many hadiths do we have so far? 3 hadiths. The first hadith is the hadith of who? Ibn Umar. The second hadith is the hadith of who? Abdullah ibn Zayd. Not in the book, but the hadith that we mentioned. In the speech of who? Nawawi, an explanation of Sahih Muslim. Read the hadith, Lutfi. قال الإمام أبو داود رحمه الله. Just like we say it, what? In the khutbahs. فضل.
قال حدثنا محمد بن منصور الطوسي حدثنا يعقوب حدثنا أبي عن محمد بن إسحاق حدثني محمد بن إبراهيم بن الحارث التيمي عن محمد بن عبد الله بن زيد بن عبد ربه حدثني أبي عبد الله بن زيد قال لما أمر رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بالناقوس يعمل ليضرب به للناس لجمع الصلاة.
This is very interesting now. It's going to take us to a whole other section now. Pay close attention. Fadl.
طاف بي وأنا نائم رجل يحمل ناقوسا في يدي فقلت يا عبد الله أتبيع الناقوس قال وما تصنع به فقلت ندعو به إلى الصلاة قال قال
أفلا أدلك
على ما هو خير من ذلك؟ فقلت له بلى. فقال تقول الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. قال ثم استأخر عني قال ثم استأخر عني غير بعيد ثم قال ثم تقول إذا أقمت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. فلما أصبحت أتيت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فأخبرته بما رأيت فقال إنها لرؤيا حق إن شاء الله. فقم مع بلال فألق عليه ما رأيت فليؤذن به فإنه أندى صوتا منك. فقمت مع بلال فجعلت ألقيه عليه ويؤذن به. قال فسمع ذلك عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله عنه وهو في بيته فخرج يجر رداءه يقول والذي بعثك بالحق يا رسول الله لقد رأيت مثل ما أري. فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فلله الحمد. قال أبو داود وهكذا روايته الزهري عن سعيد بن المسيب عن عبد الله بن زيد فقال فيه ابن إسحاق عن الزهري الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. وقال معمر ويونس عن الزهري فيه الله أكبر الله أكبر لم يثني.
طيب جزاك الله خيرا. This is volume 1 of the English translation of Sunnah Abi Dawud, the Dar es-Salaam translation. There are other translations before the Dar es-Salaam translation. Volume 1, page 302. In the PDF it's 303, but the book is 302. Hadith number 499. Pay close attention, thought it's not. We're not reading from Bukhari and Muslim. It's from Sunan Abi Dawud. It says here, Abdullah ibn Zayd narrated. Listen carefully, guys. When the Prophet ﷺ ordered that a bell be rung so that people congregate for the prayer. That's a problem in itself. Because this hadith teaches us that the Prophet what? Acknowledged and ordered people to ring the bell. The first hadith Ibn Umar said that Umar radiallahu anhu what? Rejected that. Then the Messenger of Allah what? Bilal to make the voice. How do we deal with that problem? That's not this topic of discussion right now. Everybody clear on this? What's important is that you have to pay attention. Naam? And reading hadiths, reading Allah Ta'ala is going to do nothing but sharpen your natural intelligence. Everybody understand this? And make you aware, on point. It says here, narrated Abdullah ibn Zayd, when the Prophet ﷺ ordered that a bell be rung so that the people congregate for the prayer, I saw in my dream a person coming to me with a bell in his hand. So I said, "Oh, servant of Allah, will you sell me the bell?" Now, this gives a brief, just very, very brief. it's not a big it's not a reason that's really necessary for you to put me between parentheses. It's Abdullah bin Zayd in a dream. He sees a man holding a what? A bell. The man is coming towards me. Abdullah bin Zayd says to this man, are you selling the what? Who's you going to sell it to? So it's no need to put that as if it's no need for it to be a literal translation. Obviously he's going to sell the bell to what? He's asking to get the bell. So this is an example of how the translation starts to become stubbled and choppy by something that's unneeded in English. Everybody understand this? Everybody clear on this? I said, you going to sell that out? Meaning sell it to who? Me. Everybody understand this? Everybody got this? So in the translation it says what? Abu Bakr? It says, will you sell the bell? In parentheses it says what? Will you sell me the bell? That little stops the fluid movement of the reading. And it's what? Necessary. Everybody understand this? This is not a translation class or translation workshop, but this is important. Everybody understand this? That little small glitch, that stutter step does what? Throws the rhythm of the reading off in English. Everybody understand this? Now this translation I consider Wallahu Alam in general smoother than the Muhsin Khan translation of Bukhari. Far smoother. Even with it being far smoother, it's still what? Everybody clear on this? Khair inshallah. It says, will you sell me the bell? He said, what will you do with it? I said, we will call people with it to the prayer. So he said, should I not inform you of something which is better than this? I said, yes, of course. So he said, say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya ala salah, hayya ala salah, hayya ala al-falah, hayya ala al-falah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah. Allah is the most great, Allah is the most great, Allah is the most great, Allah is the most great. I bear witness that none has the right to be worshipped but Allah. I bear witness. Is there an immediate need to put the translation of the Adhan right here in this hadith? Everybody understand this? Obviously you need to know what's being said, but the general concept of he's teaching them how to say what? The Adhan. And the focus in Arabic is not about the meaning. He's teaching them what to read and what to what? Recite. So for the English reader to know what the Adhan means, what it says, of course, we're not denying that. But here in this place, perhaps it was best just to what? Leave it out. Ever got this? Moving forward. It says, I bear witness that none has the right to be worshipped but Allah. I bear witness that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. I bear witness that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. Come to the prayer, come to the prayer, come to the prosperity, come to the prosperity. Allah is the most great, Allah is the most great, none has the right to be worshipped but Allah. It says then, and then parentheses, the person moved a small distance away and said, who else moved a small distance and said? Except for what? That person. That's another what? Unneeded what? Stop and pause. Speed bump. Everybody understand this? It says, then you should say when you wish to start the prayer, Allahu Akbaru, Allahu Akbaru, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, hayya ala salah, hayya ala falah, qad qamatis salah, qad qamatis salah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbaru, la ilaha illallah. Allah is the most great, Allah is the most great. I bear witness that none has right to be worshipped but Allah. I bear witness that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. Come to the prayer, come to the prosperity. The prayer is about to begin, the prayer is about to begin. Allah is the most great, Allah is the most great, none has the right to be worshipped but Allah. The next morning, I came to the messenger of Allah. I came to the messenger of Allah, or I what? Went to the messenger of Allah. It's optional. And informed him of my dream. He said, this is a true dream, between parentheses, from Allah. Who else is it from if it's a true dream? That's going to give a major teaching of Islam and one of the 5 pillars of Islam, except it's from what? Bi'idhnillah. But it's inspiration from Allah. There's no doubt about that. Everybody, that's another what? Speed bump. Once again, it says here, this is a true dream from Allah. Allah willing, stand up with Bilal and tell him the words that you saw in your dream. What else is he going to tell Bilal about his dream? About the bell, about the man? Everybody understand this? It's already understood what in what? English. In Arabic is different style, different prose, different structure. The kalam in English is different. Everybody understand this? There are many styles of English that will never ever work in Arabic. And there are many Arabic styles that will what? Never ever work in what? a professional, clean, smooth way. In other words, what's the point I'm trying to get to? Is that when you're reading a translation as if you're supposed to read it as if it was written in the original language. And a layman person should enjoy the luxury of reading a hadith as if the Prophet said it in English. Everybody understand this? The luxury, as if the Prophet what? Said it in English. Everybody clear this? With one condition, and the condition is that it's accurate. In other words, let's say we have several translators. The first guy, he takes the actual meaning from English, from Arabic to what? English. Nothing smooth, nothing fluid, no big words, no fancy words, just the actual what? Bulky, chunky, choppy translation. Then someone comes after that first translator and does what? Refines it a bit more. Then the grammarian comes. Then the person who's smooth, he looks at everything and he finalizes the final polishing of everything. A sifting process, like water treatment. The first step of the water is to do what? Is the color, is the taste, is the cleanliness of the water? No, it's to remove what? The solids. The solids from the sewage, from the drain. The what? The solids. Then the next step is what? How can that? It goes through 3 or 4 different phases until it's the final tap water. Everybody understand this? Everybody got this or not? This is the best way to do it. In which you have a team of 4 guys, 4 girls, 4 women, 4 brothers, 2 brothers and 3 sisters, whatever the case may be. And it's done professionally and not choppy and robotic, just one person. I have to translate it in Arabic. I have to check it. It's going to end up like what? Like this. So the last translator or editor or reviewer, his job is not to look, is it an accurate word? Is this what it really says in Arabic? That was done what? Already. His job is to smooth it out. To smooth it out. It's done. It's accurately translated. There's no aqidah mistakes. There's nothing weak or nothing incorrect anymore. His job is to find a what? Everybody got this or not? Everybody understand? It makes sense, Abu Bakr? Right. It says here, the next morning, where he says, Allah willing, stand up with Bilal and tell him the words that you saw in your dream, for he has a louder voice than you. So I stood with Bilal and started reciting to him the words, and he would call them out loudly. Umar ibn Khattab heard this while he was in his house, so he left. It says his house. If he was already in his house and he left, where did he leave from? It's unneeded. You don't have to say that in English. Listen carefully. It says Umar ibn Khattab heard this while he was in where? In his house. It then says, so he left. There's no need to put that in what? A bracket, because you already mentioned that he was what? In his house. Everybody understand this? It says here, dragging his ridad behind him. And this is a perfect example, unnecessary bracket and not putting a necessary bracket. What is a ridad? What's a ridad? We're not going to put that, but the things that aren't needed, we're going to what? Everybody understand this? It says here, he dragging his what? What's his ridad? His jacket, his izar, his coat, his rug. We don't know. Leave that alone. That's well known to the English reader. But he was in his house, then he left his house. That's needed. This is not a problem. Moving forward, it says, I swear. He was saying, I swear by him who has sent you with the truth. Let's take out the parentheses. It says, by him who has sent you with the truth. You can say that in English. He's making a what? He's oath. He's swearing. Or don't have to put it in practice and say, I what? I swear by the one who sent you with the truth. It's unnecessary. It says here, O Messenger of Allah, I too, once again, dreamt the same dream. I dreamt the same dream. It's automatically understood what? Two. Either take it out or what? Put it without the... Everybody understand this? It says that has been shown. So the Messenger of Allah said, then all praises are due to Allah. In other words, don't worry about it, Umar. You saw it, inshallah. It's good for you. It's a good sign. He saw it. He beat you to it. Alhamdulillah. That's a whole lesson in itself, not to have hasad. Nafis. Not to have what? Hasad. Alhamdulillah. You did it, he didn't. La bas. There's no need for what? Evil eye. He did the salat, he did the salat. He's here. There's no need to do what? Alhamdulillah. For all situations. Everybody understand this? For what? All situations. I said I want to marry this sister. And brother Fulan, he said he wanted to marry this sister. I wanted to marry her before brother Fulan. For one reason or another, brother Fulan got to the father first. They agreed, he got married. What am I going to say? Alhamdulillah. Not, he stole my woman. He stole my sister. Astaghfirullah. He's this, he's that. Da 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 da. I'm better, I'm big. La 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 la. Everybody say what? Alhamdulillah for that. It wasn't what? It wasn't decreed for me. Tight. Alright, so that's enough of that. This is not the topic of our class right now. So therefore, the hadith of Abdullah bin Zayd that we just read, it teaches us what? Specifics of the adhan, and also shows us the final step of the actual what? Call to the prayer. There's no rock, there's no drum, there's no fire, there's no bell, there's no horn. There's nothing but a what now? A voice. The hadith of Ibn Umar suggested what? Many things. Hadith Anas mentions what? Many things. In the beginning of this hadith, it says that the Messenger of Allah told the people to do what? The bell. Then he saw the dream. So this is the final step. So from one aspect, the hadith of Anas is where? What? In the middle. Because it's talking about the adhan specifically, but it's also mentioning the what? The fire and other things. That's the only point that we're trying to prove. Everybody understand this or not? Everybody got this? Right. Inshallah. So Anas radiallahu anhu, his hadith teaches us is that the Prophet once again did not approve of these things from the Jews and the Christians. The concept of the bell in this hadith, that's an issue that we don't have time to discuss right now. What's important is Bilal radiallahu anhu says, for umira, Bilal was commanded to do two things or four things. The first of the four things is to do what? Make the adhan. The second thing he was commanded to do was to do what? Make the Iqamah. And inside of those two things are what? Two more. And the first was an yashfa'a, for him to make the adhan in what? Two doubles. And make the Iqamah in what? Single. Everybody understand this? So the Prophet taught Bilal to do something specific. When you make the adhan, it should be double. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. That's how many times? Two, but it came as there's two times he said in one sentence. But it came in what? A double. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. That's a what? That's a pair, that's a double. Everybody understand this? The Iqamah, he says Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. What's next? Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. He said it twice, but it's only in what? Single time. Hayya al-salah, hayya al-falah. Because in the adhan, those things are only said twice. It's half. As if the hadith is saying that the Iqamah is what? Half of the adhan. Everybody clear on this? Qad qamat as-salah, qad qamat as-salah. That's what? From one aspect that's two, but one aspect is only half of four. Everybody got this? Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Same like the adhan. What's left? La ilaha illallah. Everybody understand this? That's the basic gist of this hadith. Alright? Now, obviously here in New York City, we have a lot of diversity. Islamic diversity, racial diversity, ethnic diversity, cultural diversity. So some brothers, when they make the Iqamah, they say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. They make it a full, just like the what? The adhan. Or some brothers, they may say Qad qamat as-salah lillah, Qad qamat as-salah lillah. They say that. And other people say other things as well. What's correct? Is it an option to make the adhan and the Iqamah similar? Or does the Iqamah have to be, like this hadith says, witr? We'll discuss that bid'inah ta'ala, hopefully, in the future class. Bid'inillah. Allah surely knows best. Jazakumullah khairan.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Brothers and sisters online, please ask your questions in the question and answer session only, not during the classes. Please follow the instructions that are posted on the live chat. Please email your questions to that email address, and we'll answer them inshallah tomorrow, if Sheikh is having the question and answer session tomorrow. Are you having a question?
Yes, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. Bi'idhnillah. MashaAllah. Jameel.